Welcome back to the Alpha Evolution. I'm your host, Justin Adams. And before I get into the show, I'd like to give a big support to my friend AV, Alpha Villains. He's got his own YouTube channel here as well. Check him out. He's been a big supporter of mine, and I wanted to support him, so I bought one of his shirts. I'm the space she needed. Fantastic shirt. It's hilarious, and I can't wait to wear it to the gym. That said, I want to talk about the Hatchet. The Hatchet and the Hatchet mentality that goes with it, right? Because you can't have a tool without understanding how to use it, when to use it, and what circumstances to use it. The Hatchet is the ability to cut a woman off at a moment's notice. And she needs to know that because she doesn't mean all that much to you. Why? Because men are the same whether they are alone or with someone. It doesn't matter. Guys who say, "Oh, you're the love of my life. You mean the world to me. You mean everything to me. You are my other half. You complete me." Should I go on? Is a bunch of nonsense. The guys who say this stuff actually are incomplete. They are fighting a void inside them. They cannot be alone. They need a woman to fill that space within them. That space is something that they need to examine. And honestly, it's not something that's easy or quick and requires either a good therapist or a good coach. Flat out. But instead, they go for the short-term fix, right? They get that high by bringing a woman in and using her. Sucking her energy, sucking her presence, using her to gain some sort of new perspective, new energy, inspiration, sex, you name it, so that he can feel better about himself, so that he can feel confident, so he can feel like a real man. When a real man, he doesn't need her there. He is more interested in leveling himself up. He's more interested in his principles. He is more interested in increasing himself, sharpening his edges. He is not very concerned with her presence. He will assess her and say, what can she do to benefit my life? What areas is she strong in that I can improve her on? Right? Because understand, the woman that comes into my universe is going to be leveled up herself. I will take a 5, even though I don't believe in this stupid number ranking system, but just for the sake of conversation, I will take a 5 and turn her into a 7. I will take a 7 and turn her into a 9. I will take a 9 and turn her into an 11. Because I understand the mentality and the mindset and what needs to happen for myself and for her. The decisions will be made by me. And the thing is that it's not like I'm going to completely dismiss everything that comes out of her mouth. It's not like that. All right? I'm not saying that women are unintelligent, that they don't have skills, that they don't have any sort of benefit, okay? Because if a woman is in my life that closely, she's already proven herself because I've decided that she has qualities that I find beneficial. So I'm going to utilize those. And then through my leadership, I'm going to make her even better, which makes her a more valuable asset to me. And that makes me more valuable asset to her, right? But here's the thing. If at any point your standards and your rules are broken, if there's any bit of disrespect, you need to cut her off. You need to cut her off without remorse. And I know that's got to be hard for some of you guys who have deep attachments with women. I know it's going to be hard for you guys who are in long-term relationships, marriages, and so on. But it doesn't matter because you come first. No one's going to put you first except you. You need to make yourself first. And if there's any violations coming in that go against you being first, you leading, making decisions for your life, then you need to cut that person off. It doesn't matter how sexy she is. It doesn't matter how good in bed she is, because frankly, tons of girls are terrible in bed. Absolutely terrible. And you guys just accept it because it's actually happening. You know, when you've been with a number of women, you have to understand that a lot of these women that are sleeping with guys, they're not being led. Okay? They're being drained. So there's guys out here who are just consuming women, right? They're consuming them because they're like the dude that I mentioned before who has that void within himself, that he's using these women to fill into them so that they can feel better about themselves. And they drain them and use them through their bodies. And guys might say, oh, well, I don't give a shit about that. Who cares about these hoes? Okay, fair enough. No one's forcing you to have a larger view picture of everything. I'm not telling you guys to be celibate either. All right? What I am saying is learn how to be a damn good leader. Because even if things don't work out, you can still lead well. You can lead a woman well, and let's say just your lifestyles don't match up. Okay? You could be a nightclub promoter, and she is a homebody who wants to sit around and knit, right? And let's say you'd rather have a type of woman who's by your side helping you with your business, okay? Now, you could try and take that woman who's at home and put her to task and say, hey, I want you to be running this, I want you to do this, this, and this, all right? That's not going to work out quite as well compared to a woman who's more suited towards that lifestyle, or has at least an understanding, a cursory understanding of what it's like to be a nightclub promoter or something along those lines. Okay. But in any case, it doesn't even matter because you still have to be able to cut that person off. So what I'm saying is these guys, you guys, largely use women. You chew them up, suck them dry for what you can, because you really don't know how to give back into her. You don't know how to make her even better than what she was. You just want to use. Now, I'm on great terms with nearly every woman that I've been with. I can call them up now. I can contact them later this week and have a great conversation. No feelings no ill feelings are had. It's not an issue. But you guys who are just sucking these women dry, they're all kinds of pissed off. And then when they come back with some other dude, they've got all that vitriol, they've got all that pain, all that frustration, and they're going to take that and bring it on the next guy. And the next guy isn't going to be equipped to deal with that. He's not going to be equipped to lead her in such a way that all that crud can fall away, right? Excuse my cat. Or where he says, listen, Listen, baby, you need to sign up for therapy. I want you to be going twice a week. And we're going to get your shit straight between your therapist and me. Now, depending on the therapy, because a lot of therapy is just crap, in my opinion. But that's for another discussion. Now, here's the thing. Again, in order to be able to cut a woman off, you need to know what you're cutting her off from. You can't just be like, I don't like your behavior, you're out of here. That doesn't work. I mean, it can, but it's a whole lot better if you know why. What exactly are you cutting her off from? You? Who are you? You don't know. You don't know what you stand for. You're not standing on your square. You have no idea. You have no idea what you are about. You have no sense of self. And what's happening is that because you don't have that sense of self, you're just cutting her off for ego reasons. You don't really have a leg to stand on. You just don't like the way she made you feel. And that, sir, makes you a bitch. Because you're acting out of your feelings, not because of the principles. You're whining and you don't want to play with her anymore. When really, something doesn't work out, you say, hey, you know what? No big deal. Give me a call when you come around. You know, as Steve the Dean says, I'll keep a candle in the window for you. Right? I tell him I keep a key under the doormat. Same bullshit. Because what's going to happen is that she's going to go out. This happened many times. She's going to go out for those ladies who didn't want to put up with my rules, what they would call bullshit. They go out, they find some guy who's a bit more pandering, right? Helping her do all kinds of nonsense. Taking her out to all kinds of dinners, buying her all kinds of shit. And the fact is that that guy lacked the ish that made her tingle between the legs. Made her tingle in her mind. And lo and behold, a couple weeks later, I get the calls. I get the DMs on Instagram. And then when they do come back, because they will, say, are you ready to play? Because if you're going to play, it's by my rules. I shouldn't even need to remind you of that. All right? So understand this, gentlemen. You have to stay by your rules. You have to lead by your principles. Your principles lead everything. And if they are not, you're going to lose. If she's not following them, you have to cut her off immediately. I don't care how long she's been in your life. I don't care if she's been your wife for 10 years. If there is disrespect and she cannot follow, it's for a good reason. Usually it's because of you. But you have to maintain some sort of order and cut her off. You cannot just let it sit there and fester. You have to take care of these things. Is that understood? You must manage the people in your life. If you don't, they will have no respect for you. Your woman will have zero respect for you if you cannot lead her in any capacity. And really, when you're doing it right, it should be in all capacities. But let's just get to some capacity first, right? Because that probably sounds insane to you. Making all the decisions. Having full trust. That probably sounds insane. But I'll tell you what, it starts with trusting yourself. You understand? You cannot get through this by having charm. Do you see how deep this is? You can't get by on your six pack. You can't get by on being a high value man. You can't get by having a good mouthpiece. You can't get by having a fantastic social circle. It doesn't matter. At her core, at a woman's core, it doesn't matter. None of that stuff does. What it comes down to is, do you have what it takes to lead her? Period. And if she's going to follow your program, great. If she's not, cut her off. Because you don't have time. You don't have time to explain yourself over and over. And the more you explain yourself, the weaker you look. Think about it. Say you've got a child. There was a rule, the child broke it. Okay, cool. You give them a warning. Say this isn't going to happen again. You sit them down and say, hey, listen, little Timmy, son, this isn't going to happen again because this is the rules. You explain why. You do it once. And you say, this isn't going to happen again. Say, yes, I understand. Yes, I understand. And that's the end of it. If it keeps happening, they're not heeding your words, which means they don't respect you. Why do you have someone in your life that close who doesn't respect you? Right? Because you can't expect people afar to respect you. You can't do that. Okay? But if somebody's in your circle, someone's in your universe, they must respect you. You cannot let anyone in who doesn't. So why do you have somebody there who doesn't respect you? Why? Is it because you invested so much? What did you invest? Time? Time's not an investment. It barely exists. Depends on how you look at it. It's a concept. Right? Because if time was an investment, investments create returns. Where's your return on time? And how do you invest it? Show me the mechanism by which you invest time. No. Time is just always leaving. That's it. That's why they call it wasting time. So why are you wasting time with someone in your life who doesn't respect you? Get rid of her. It's not going to change. You know why? Because if you're in that state, you don't respect you. So first, work on respecting yourself. Build the self-love. Make yourself your own best cheerleader. Have some fucking pride. Don't let anybody walk on your toes, especially a woman. I know that might sound bad. Oh my gosh, he's being misogynistic. I'm not. I like women a lot. I think they're great. I mean, they can be very annoying. But I do like women. But you guys aren't getting it through your heads. You've got to get this mentality down pat. You have to absorb this mentality and keep that hatchet in your back pocket at all times. Remember that. All right. This is Coach Justin, and I'm out.